just not for me, that's for the brand. Welcome to all of you, and welcome to the Maison. Tag Heuer, and I would like to welcome on stage the person who's going to be moderating this keynote. He's a big Formula One fan. He's a big motorsports broadcaster. I would like to welcome on stage Mr. Will Buxton.
Merci. Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue ici à Genève. Je m'appelle Will Buxton et c'est mon plaisir, vraiment mon plaisir d'être ici avec vous, avec mes amis de Tag Heuer pour une annonce très spéciale, and that is about the only French that I can muster. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Geneva. My name is Will Buxton. I will be your host this afternoon, and it is a true pleasure to be here with my new friends at Tag Heuer and with all of you for a very special announcement. Time is ticking. We have but half an hour to present this to you. So without further ado, please let me introduce to you the CEO of Tag Heuer, Antoine Bang.
Thank you, Will. I'm so happy to be here. How are you? Good? Good. Okay, yes, time is ticking, so we need to move on. We've made some noise in the beginning of this year, telling everyone that we were back where we belong in Formula One. But obviously, Tag Heuer is more than this, is more than just Formula One. And we've been thinking, what is actually Tag Heuer about? Okay, we were at that moment when we wanted to make this new advertising campaign, a communication that has to tell everyone about what makes us unique. What makes us unique? What is actually the magic that Tag Heuer can talk about? What we do truly believe in. So there's been a lot of talking, a lot of sharing, a lot of discussions. And fundamentally, when you think of Tag Heuer magic, you have to think about our history. For 150 years, we've accompanied companies, we've accompanied sports events. We've witnessed the most extraordinary sports events. From the Olympics to the America's Cup, from Formula One to the Ski World Championships, we were everywhere. We've experienced the most amazing moments, devastating moments, extraordinary moments of performance, extraordinary success, extraordinary moments of tension. And from that starting point, from that very experience, we've realized that in any one of us, we shape our destiny. Every one of us shape our destiny in very special moments. It can be the starting point, the starter call. It can be the middle of the action. It can be the moment of victory. There are moments when things happen. Well, that's a moment where things happen to me, at least. We shape our destiny in those moments. We shape our destiny because we all have the capacity to surpass ourselves. All of us, any one of us. All of you who are running and telling yourself at some point, I'm stopping now, I'm fed up. Facing the famous 30 kilometers wall in the marathon, when every cell of your body tells you, stop it, take a car, take a bike. Why do you run? Why do you hurt yourself? And the other part of your brain tells you, no way, I will never give up, and I'll make it to the end. I'm surpassing myself. Surpassing your capacities, be it physical, surpassing your fears, surpassing your intellectual capacities to create, to push your own capacities. We can all do this during those very special moments because we all have this exceptional magic in ourselves, this thing that nobody can put in equation, this mental strength that made us achieve the most exceptional performances. So we believe strongly, deeply, that Tag Heuer exists to inspire anyone to surpass themselves, to reach their own limits, to surpass their own limits and their capacities. And that's what we believe we should do ourselves with our collections, with our communication, in every action of our company. This is our mantra, this is our ethos, this is our philosophy. You've all, I mean, not all, the people of my generation, you've seen some of those campaigns. You've seen this Don't Crack Under Pressure advertising campaign. You've experienced success in the My Game, Inner Strength, Don't Crack Under Pressure again. Telling you you can make it, you can go. You've got this next challenge ahead of you and you can surpass it. But what is the next step in our saga? There is this exceptional hero that has been a companion of Tag Heuer for many years, and he's very much inspired us. In an amazing interview, he said, you know, I'm not designed to come second or third. I'm designed to win. It's beautiful, this term, design. Design like your destiny, but design also like your ambition. This was very inspiring to us. Obviously, clearly inspiring for our designers. But beyond that, this mix of what life has made you, but what you're going to make of yourself. So this is where it all starts. And I want now you to enjoy the video that shows the starting point of our communication campaign. Video.
It's what sets you apart in the moment of truth. It's the unstoppable force that carries you forward. The clarity in the chaos. The will to push through. The drive that never stops. It's the sharp focus that turns doubt into action. Transforming every second into fuel for greatness. It's the inner voice, reminding you that you are designed to win. Tag Heuer.
I think that reaction says it all, Antoine. A fantastic campaign, a meaningful campaign.
Thank you.
Not a rebrand, but an embracing of this brand's history, what it means, as you say, the inspiration that this brand creates in people. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you so much. Antoine Pin, ladies and gentlemen. Time, as we're discussing, and the almost philosophical view that Antoine holds, for us to be able to search within, to exist in the moment, and to extract everything from that moment. That is what this is all about. I'd like each of you now, if you could, to just take a look at your wrist, at your timepiece, which I'm sure every one of you has, and just watch the marking of time. Take a look and just watch the marking of 1 second to the next. It is in that gap, it is in that moment where our ability to be exceptional exists. For years I've worked in motor racing, and I hear drivers talking about being in the zone, a zen-like state where time almost appears to slow down and where they are able to extract the maximum from themselves. But we hear it in every walk of life now, that flow state, whether you're a sports person, an artist, a musician, to be in that place where time almost seems to slow down, even though we mere mortals know it is a constant. But within that gap between the second hands passing, the impossible exists, the greatness of the true greats. And I have 4 of them here today to introduce to you, who will be far better placed to explain what it is to exist within that state. First of all, please join me in welcoming to the stage Carole Forestier-Campani, who is, as we know, the queen, the absolute unrivaled queen of movement. A young woman who took the world by storm at the Summer Olympics in Paris, winning 4 medals. Of them, 3 were gold at just 17 years of age. Summer McIntosh. One of the greatest racing drivers ever to grace the planet, a 2-time Formula One world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Mika Häkkinen. And finally, a man who needs very little introduction, voted on a number of occasions the sportsman, the athlete of the century. Still, for me, the fastest man on earth. 9 Olympic gold medals. Carl Lewis. Well, what a panel. Carl, if I can start with you, sir. I remember watching you run, watching you jump, and it looked effortless, but it can't have been. How tough was it? How much work went into making it look so easy?
Well, you're right. It is behind the scenes. It's very difficult. Just to give you an example, when I first started, I went to a new coach out of high school, and I jumped 813 when I was 17. And he says, okay, if you want to jump 890, you have to change your entire technique. So just to start, it took 18 months just to learn how to do it. And then after that, there was 2 days of practice of just on my approach, 1 day of practice a week on my jump, excluding the sprinting workout. So basically, each jump takes about, 3 seconds to go down the runway and 4 seconds. And so if you have 6 jumps, that's 20 seconds. And you add all that up, it probably takes about, I jumped maybe 6 times a year. So, countless, maybe 2 months of training for each competition. And that's what it was basically my whole career. So it was a lot of behind the scenes work to get it. Because once you learn it, you kind of forget some of it every year. So you have to constantly do it over and over and over.
Mika, Carl's talked about those seconds making the difference. For you, when you sat on the grid, visor closed, waiting for the lights to turn out and the race to start, what created a winning mindset for you?
Well, first of all, for Tag Heuer, thank you, because they were definitely part of my success racing with the McLaren. In a Grand Prix, the start is one of the most important time in a Grand Prix race. So when you do close your visor, it's all about the timing, and that happens when you practice a lot, of course. I was quite lucky because I was 1 year a test driver for McLaren. So my best friend, my best enemy was the time and the clock. So I had a delta time all the time when I was racing out there alone, improving my performance, racing against the time. And the Tag Heuer was a big part of that. So normally I just say, keep your foot down, just flat out.
If in doubt, flat out. Summer, you broke onto the scene, age 14, taking the world by storm at Paris. 4 medals, 3 gold, world records. What does it feel like to be achieving so much within your realm at such a young age?
I think that experience in Tokyo, being only 14 years old back in 2021, getting that just small taste of what it's like to be one of the best, compete among the best on the world level, getting that small taste really was what kept me striving to going into Paris. And having that experience going into Paris, I knew that I can really do something big. And obviously I'm happy with the end result, but I think it really all started back in 2021. And I, since then, have just continued to just keep improving, pushing forward and pushing the boundaries of the sport and continuing to expand in and out of the sport as well, mentally and physically. So things like that have really been what's been a huge part of my success so far.
Superb. And Carol, queen of movements. Sports and watchmaking, there is a natural synergy that exists between the two. How's Tag Heuer pushing those limits?
So I think Tiger is pushing the limits of watchmaking since the beginning of the Maison. So since its founding by Edouard Heuer in 1860. And with our avant-garde mindset, we have really been one of the most innovative and one of the most visionary maisons inside the world of watches for 165 years. So that's the starting point of how we push the limit. So, plus, we are functional design, really, at Tag Heuer. So, and this requires a lot of quality testing and a lot of lab research. So the Tag Heuer lab is one of the biggest, thank you, Antoine, one of the biggest and the more advanced research lab we have in watchmaking. And it's an ultimate tool to push the limits for performance, for quality, and for durability. So we push the limit in watchmaking with the same attitude as an elite athlete, like swimming, like motorsport, like track. This discipline where the time is fundamental, and we measure the success with the time.
Thank you. Time, as Carol says, is fundamental. It's been at the basis of what you three do and what you excel at. How does it feel to be in the zone? How does it feel to be in the flow state? Something which few of us will ever experience, but for you was your daily bread and butter, still is, summer. Carl, maybe we start with you. What does it feel like in your mind to be in that place where time almost slows down?
Well, what happens is that everything does slow down because you're relaxed. And so it goes from a thing where you're actually being aggressive and forward to where things are coming to you. So in 100 meters, it's only 10 seconds or less, but it felt like a lot more because every single step you feel and every single thing and every single piece of the process. So for me, it definitely was. Or even long jumping. Think about this. In the long jump, I'm in the air 1 second. And so all the motions are happening in 1 second. And so you have to do so many things in order to get that done. You have to be fluid and relaxed or just can't get it done.
And Summer, for you, is it, when you're in the pool, almost like breathing? Is it just natural, almost sort of an unconscious movement of the body?
Yes, I think so. I mean, swimmers do a lot of visualization, so any race that I swam in Paris, it felt like I had already done it. But as soon as my body hits the water, I know exactly what I have to do, and I can basically go into autopilot. But I think even if it's an only 2-minute long race, it feels like an entire experience of so many different emotions and things that I'm thinking about. But at the same time, I'm, like you said, very relaxed and in a flow state where I can know exactly how I have to execute my plan. But overall, I think just taking it one step at a time is what's been able to, for me to be able to achieve my goals, and really just take it very slowly and stay focused and stay in the moment as well.
Mika, you raced at speeds over 200 miles an hour for an hour and a half at a time in that flow state, racing millimeters away from your rivals. How does that factor into, I mean, how did you stay calm in that moment?
Well, it comes down to experience a lot, but let me tell you another story. I would say that when you're in a qualification program during a qualification in a race weekend, it's very much to do with the teamwork, because even the driver, like myself, are in absolute ultimate performance. Maybe the machine is not. So this communication, what you go constantly all the time with the team, they have to report you with a certain time when the car is ready to perform, and you have to be ready. So it's all about the timing when the team has to calculate. And today it's very, very data-driven how they can analyze when the car is ready to go flat out. So the driver is always a big challenge to get best out of yourself. And that comes a lot with your practice outside of the car to learn to understand your body.
You only have one chance in all of your sports, and any mistake is punished by...
We don't do mistakes.
That's why he's a two-time world champion. You had to come back from a horrible injury, Mika, which could have ended anyone else's career, and you came back from that. How do you use that mental strength, that design within you to win, to push through the hard moments?
Yeah, I had a big one. I had a big one in '95 when I cracked my skull. So I needed to spend some months in a hospital to recover. So I came back to racing. So it was halfway through my career. And it really made me to think, naturally, that way what I'm doing here, why I'm doing this kind of crazy sport. I want to live my life. I want to walk, talk, hear, everything in my life. But then afterwards, I realized this is what I want. I want to be world champion. I want to go flat out. So it really gave me to understanding an importance of the teamwork and focusing more, not only myself, but focusing other people about their abilities, about their talents, and how they can help me to be a winner. And I think it made me to be a better team player.
Summer, for you, in what is a uniquely individual sport, where does that mental strength come from? And again, I'm sorry to mention your age again, but it's astonishing to me that you're only a few years older than my daughter, and I still think she's pretty young. To have achieved all that you do, to have that strength of purpose and will and determination to achieve what you have you had to work on that? Is that something that comes naturally to you?
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, I think since a very young age, I grew up in a family that was very competitive and very into sports. And I understood the mentality from a very young age. But at the same time, going through swimming, you learn so much about yourself and you develop mentally and mature very, very quickly. Being at the top level at 14 years old, it really pushes you to mature and grow up very quickly. But I think a really defining moment for me was 400 freestyle at the 2023 World Championships. I went into the race as the world record holder and as the favorite going in to win it. And I left with getting 4th place and my world record broken. And that was the first race of that meet. And learning how to bounce back from that as I had 3 more races to go was something that I think I will carry with me throughout the rest of my career. And I left that meet with 2 gold medals and a bronze. And just learning how to flip the switch and move on and stay in the moment was so important, because that was definitely one of my worst races. And to start off a meet like that is very hard. So that's definitely something that really developed my mentality.
Because you're designed to win. That's how it works. Carl, you famously had a really bad knee injury back in '86, I believe. You came back from that to smash world records and continue a gold medal charge in your disciplines. How hard was that for you to come back from? How much did you have to rely on your reserves of mental strength to pull through?
Yeah, I did have knee surgery that year, and it was actually in between the 2 Olympics also. So the big thing is that you, especially in the events that I was doing, you never know if you're going to come back 100%. So that was the biggest part about it. And just getting back slowly, because I was a little bit over a year from a world championship. So the big thing for me was getting back to doing the things that I was doing in the first place. My coach was very technical oriented. So it was, if you do everything correctly, you won't get injured. And my injury came really from something that was genetic, so it was a little different than just actually hurting it a particular day. So I always had to feel like, okay, I'll be fine if I do what everyone says I'm supposed to do. And fortunately for me, it actually worked out. And then the other knee had the same thing 4 years later. So, I had 2 knee surgeries during that period, and I was able to bounce back.
The whole basis of the campaign that we're launching here today is to search within oneself, to improve, to take inspiration, to be the best that you can be. You 3 represent the best that there has ever been in your fields in your time. But did you ever reach perfection? Or is perfection an impossibility? Is there always better out there, Carl, for you?
Well, I guess the race that I thought the closest was in 1991 when I set the world record the last time in the 100 meters. But now I look back at it and I see a couple of mistakes in that race. So I don't know if you actually can have an absolutely perfect race because there's so many variables. You're like on that day, but it's windy this way, or you're ready to go and then you're sick the next morning. There's just so many things, but I think that the strive for it is what makes practice better. I used to love to practice, and I always say you improve in practice and you show it in the event. And so I think the strive for it is far more important than ever actually reaching it.
And Summer, for you?
Yes, I think any top athlete in the world, if you were to ask them, they would say that they're probably a perfectionist. And same goes for me. I don't think I've ever had even close to a perfect race. As soon as I re-broke my world record in the 400 IM about a year ago, I was already looking at my splits, cringing at my breaststroke splits, like, oh my gosh, I could have gone so much faster than this. But that's the stuff that keeps me motivated to keep training harder and harder and harder and keep pushing the boundaries of my sport. So striving for perfection every single day in practice, knowing you might never reach it, is something that is kind of a weird feeling, but at the same time is really what keeps me motivated to keep pushing forward and see what I can do in the pool.
Mika, does the perfect lap exist? Did you ever find it?
Well, I had a many very good racing laps and qualification laps, and now I remember in '94, example, in Monaco for the qualification. I started my lap in Monaco. It's a very difficult racetrack because it's between the barriers. So I started my lap and I felt incredibly fantastic, like better than ever, you know, super confident, very strong mentally, physically. And I really thought I was under control. And going through the first corner, absolutely perfect. Second corner, perfect. And then I spun. So there is no perfection. You know, you can always, all the time constantly reaching the perfection. But environment where you are is constantly moving. It's never same. So every lap in a racing car is different. So you always trying to find the perfection. So there is no perfect car. I don't think there's a perfect performance what you can do, but it's about the winning. You know, if you're the first, that's enough.
Thank you. Carol, back to you. We've heard from these three incredible luminaries about their relationship with time. Explain to us a little bit about your relationship with time.
A special one, very emotional, because I was born into a family of watchmakers. But the time, yeah, we have a different way to measure, and the world have different standards. But time is the only one universal metric. And for everybody, 60 seconds is 1 minute, 60 minutes is 1 hour, 24 hours is a day. And whatever your position in life, you can't change that. The same value for everybody. And this is why, for me, it's very important. And this is also why I'm very proud to work in watchmaking.
Beautiful sentiment. I think we'll probably end on that. Carol, Carl, Summer, Mika, and of course, Antoine, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here today as we launch Tag Heuer's new campaign. Enjoy the rest of the week, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's what sets you apart in the moment of truth. It's the unstoppable force that carries you forward. It's the sharp focus that turns doubt into action. It's the inner voice, reminding you that you are designed to win. Tag Heuer.
you.